so nice to be surprised by new bands. New bands to our ears at least, as Saint Deamon have almost 20 years of career even if they have had a 10-year publishing silence. This is their 4th album of originals and is a good example of how power metal can adapt to modern times. A modern tone that doesn't question their ability to make great heavy metal songs with those catchy choruses. The more traditional fans of the genre may twist their noses, but it doesn't take much time to verify that we have quality and profusion in these 8 songs that go by in a flash.
We love it when bands trust us to review their work, especially bands that release their work independently and fight for a place in the sun. We love it even more when we are surprised in a positive way, as here in Lost in Grey, this record debut by the Greeks Widersin that mixed heavy metal with a pinch of alternative, very light, but it's the traditional factor that makes this work a delightful surprise from beginning to end. It manages to make something that could be predictable very refreshing. It's worth knowing them.
From Brazil, we have Aliens Purger, who have Corrosion Saga as their debut album. And it is an album that immediately leaves us in love. We have grindcore, we have a science fiction concept, we have a raw and organic production, and above all, we have 24 songs that make up a set that surprises by its dynamics. Fans of humorous grindcore, especially because of the Portuguese samples that appear between songs, will not be able to resist the sound of this trio, which even with just guitar and drums has a powerful and full sound.
Listening to this album without having access to more information, one would never think that it is a one-man band. And with programmed drums. Everything sounds organic and everything seems to sound like the work of a group of people, only enhancing the talent of Antoine Grasser, who is responsible for everything we can hear here except the voice that is in charge of 12 different vocalists, and A King's Crow even has 3 different vocalists. But it is in the instrumental that we are completely captivated by this technical death metal proposal. It maintains the brutality while presenting us with high levels of technique, but without becoming a caricature of the genre, or becoming too inaccessible. In fact, in tracks like Universal Crown, this technical element even plays in favor of a melodic increment that is very welcome. Excellent debut from a project that we will want to follow.
Must confess that I was surprised by Redsphere for reasons unrelated to their music. This is because they come from New Caledonia, a place I didn't know existed and which is located in the Pacific, being a French archipelago where you can find 4 other active bands besides Redsphere. And for those who don't expect anything very exciting, we must say that they have a powerful sound focusing on modern death, thrash metal that easily captivates our attention. It doesn't impress by originality, but for the fans from New Caledonia it will be a luxury to have a local band with such power.
And here it is, the second part of the Faded Visions EP experience from South African thrash metal band Truth Decayed. Our expectations were very high for this new set of songs, and they weren't hurt at all. The same groove, adding even more thrash metal violence that suits them very well. The production is modern but doesn't lose sight of the organic element, courtesy of Vulvodynia's Chris Xenopoulos, which works particularly well on a track like Death by Design, by far the most addictive theme we can find here.
Let's be honest, Graveworm never managed to capture the attention that Cradle of Filth or Dimmu Borgir did, although they benefited greatly from the hype surrounding melodic black metal at the beginning of their career. However, they never stopped making good music, no matter how saturated or even backwards the scene was for their style. After an absence of 8 years, they are back with Killing Innocence, which presents excellent arguments to prove that they were not just one more in the wave of melodic black metal of the late 90s. With a remarkable sobriety, but still keeping the main characteristics of their musical personality, it is the inspired songs that make this return as good as we wished for.
Great album this Holistic Despair is. melodic, atmospheric black metal, and not forgetting a wink, or several winks, to doom metal. Without reinventing anything. Which by now is refreshing, to have a relatively new band releasing their second work release an album that tastes classic from the first moment. Without any kind of concession or commercialism. It is what it is, no second thoughts, just making great music, and the first indicator you can have that on a first listen is that you don't even realize how much time has passed.